Good morning. I'm higher vibrations and so are you. And here are the Ascension Symptoms for the post 1010 portal, the October 10th portal and full moon that just happened. There was a lot of energy that came through, and I've noticed a lot of different sensations that we haven't really described before as Ascension Symptoms. Part of that, by the way, is the reason this video is so delayed. Your muscles they aren't as strong, or that, maybe just gravity feels heavier, the listlessness, but also lack of motivation and desire to do things at the same time. It's really been kind of a mess, coupled with the technology glitching on us. This is the third video that I'm recording in an attempt to get this message out to you. Everyone's Wi-Fi has been going in and out, and that's kind of interesting. But then also other types of technology, noticing that when you enter the room, perhaps a streaming video doesn't work as well while you're in your presence. The static electricity experience, like when you touch a doorknob or make contact with metal and there's that spark of electricity, that's happening more with things that are not metallic. That I find that really fascinating. Different media platforms has been really seems to be struggling lately for everybody across the board. Appetite's really been affected the past week or so. My body is hungry, and I want to eat. And then nothing sounds delectable. Nothing sounds like something I want to eat. I just don't have an appetite. I spent a good portion of my life being very much a carnivore, and slowly my body rejected certain types of meat. Before long, it was all meat altogether. It became basically a vegan. And then this new thing has been occurring the past little while for a lot of individuals, and that is people even who have been reportedly a vegan for 20 to 40 years are noticing that their body's asking for meat right now. Also, the purging stuff a lot of us are having. I've noticed this was kind of a fun or interesting one for me. I was actually craving processed food, a certain, like candy, and it was kind of strange, the craving for it. And then I kind of noticed that what that was, it was actually, I think, my body knows that when I eat that type of stuff, then everything moves through me quickly. A lot of us are doing this purging and this cleansing of the body. And as a result, we are having frequent bathroom trips, and to make a quick note on that, a lot of us are also noticing this sensation of mourning and loss, and even a burst of almost rage. And that's not the right word, but, like a very subtle version of that in the act of the bathroom. And so all of us have a host of parasites in our body. It's a team. We all work together. And as we're moving through these energies into this new energy space, some of the teammates, the team members of this physical form are not in alignment to come along with us. And so as we purge these other teammates, these parasites, we're actually sensing their alarm and their confusion of why they're leaving. It's kind of sad a little bit, but just know that this is just part of the natural cycle and the natural thing that is occurring right now. So also a lot of other kind of purging, as body acne, strange, noticing sinus stuff again, but it seems like it's stuff moving through. I don't have a cold, but I'm having some cold-like symptoms in that my sinuses are draining in my eyes. And speaking of the eyes, a lot of stuff's going on with the eyes right now. We're having clarity coming in, and it feels at first like being out of focus, and we're trying to focus and see that thing, right? And then all of a sudden we realize that the thing that it makes everything look blurry and out of focus is truly something coming into our visual field. So again, we started out at a lower vibrational space, lower than we are now. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, a point to be made. And up here is where some other things are vibrating at in this beautiful vibrational space. It goes on and on and on. As we reach this particular vibrational field, we're meeting this thing, and it's coming into our perceivability. And so when it feels like we're going out of focus, perhaps you're actually coming into focus. Along with that, also goopy eyes. Just it's almost like it's a goop. It's stuff in your eyes, and particularly in the morning. It's not like sleep though. It's something different, and it's like a purging. It's like a pushing out of this stuff that's happening. You know, just to let you know, I have recently been to the doctor, and I'm completely healthy. I don't have anything going on. This is just what's occurring. Also, lung stuff. I'm noticing a restriction in my ability to speak when I'm speaking the most important things. And important for me. A lot of us have come into this experience multiple times. And in these experiences, we have been prevented from sharing our truth, from being our authentic self in one way or another. You know, a lot of us do have past recollection of past life experiences where burning at the stake kind of things, you know, that there were actual consequences to telling truth. And so there's this like limitation thing that's occurring in the throat, and it's also the mouth region. So as these things come through, just I feel encouraged to push through it, you know. And there's dental and trauma and type stuff happening. My teeth separated; they never had gaps, and the separation actually caused a little bit of difficulty for the teeth behind it. That's happened to a lot of people, and it's still happening right now. We have the 4D chakra. I wish I could recall the name. Someone, a beautiful subscriber, commented and told me the name for that chakra, but I've always called it the 4D chakra or the dream time chakra. And that's at the crux of your neck, like right at the base of your brain stem where it meets your neck. There's that little like place. And there's a lot of activity happening right there for a lot of individuals. There have been growths that have had to be removed, weird blemishes, tickly sensation in that spot, even a tapping sensation, feeling like someone is literally taking their finger, tap, tap, tap. I'm noticing like chills or goosebumps just in that spot. It's kind of a tickly, happy sensation, but it's something that's been occurring. You know, and that area is being activated. You know, we're still having the ear ringing. We're still having the muffled underwater hearing. Buzzing has been a new one. The buzzing one is actually unpleasant for me. It seems like there's some type of technology in the house that's like needs to turn off, you know, kind of feeling or say, just it's like it's not quite in harmony with my experience. And that's been unpleasant. Now, this is not the same thing as the Taos hum. The Taos hum, I only just found out the name for that, and that's at 3 a.m. A lot of us have this experience where we wake up at 3 a.m. and we hear this coming from the earth, and it's really activating and beautiful. And I used to think that actually it was Earth speaking to me, and perhaps it is. Along with this purging sensation, the need to purge, we're noticing an increase in water intake, and that assists us in that experience. It helps things to cleanse through our system and to move out into where it needs to be. So just try to remember to always let yourself have the water that it needs. Increased dream experience, and this includes a lot of different things. It's all encompassing. Sleepwalking kind of experience. And what I mean by that is not always that you're walking around, but that you're fully engrossed in some type of physical activity when you're waking up, noticing that you're busy doing something. Maybe you have a roommate who's reported you doing something while you're still in a sleep state. Dream lucidity, having more lucid dreams. And, you know, this has been reported a lot. When you're in this dream state, we're not often actually having the dreaming experience that we've been taught for so long. You know, many times we're in astral or something energetic like that. And we're not talking about your higher self is off having an action with a different energetic being, but it's your actual human self. So my Pamela is off doing something. And that's why there's this trying to remember and trying to figure out. And, you know, a lot of times there's this sensation of the individuals present, the light beings or the energetic beings or whoever it is you're interacting with, often they're ETs, they're kind of looking at you like, do you know? Don't you know? You know, kind of feeling, because you're still being you. And you are amazing. However, you're still basically a soul with dementia. And we're trying to come back. And so we have these energies that are coming in, like trying to help encourage that memory, jog that memory for you. And that's kind of fun, and it's beautiful also when there's that moment of recollection, because the other individual that you're interacting with is often so overjoyed and excited. And I've actually had a few experiences where the individuals that I was speaking with were overwhelmed with such emotion. I didn't know that they cried until they started to cry with just, wow, you recall me. And so allow yourself to process those experiences. These memories of past dreams are coming in also. Having childhood dreams come in like they happened last night or just a moment ago with that kind of clarity and recollection. Those things are all coming up. So just allow them to come through, as well as flashes that are dream-like. In some occasions, those are these energies that just kind of need to be seen. And we've talked about that a lot before, but in essence, what Archangel Michael has told us is that these things simply need to be seen so they can move on. In essence, they've been held prisoner here, not meaning to. We've kind of been conditioned through this life experience where we ignore these things and just kind of put them away. And by ignoring them, that's a state of imprisonment. They're kind of trapped in this space. And so if we can acknowledge them without judgment, I don't need to decide I need to apply a new label to my experience. I don't need to be a new identity as a result. I'm simply observing and saying, you existed, you're real. And with love, I send your ability to be released, and you just push it away with the love and let it go. The gratitude that you're met with on many occasions is uplifting and kind of projects you into a whole new dimensional frequency space. It's really fun. A lot of the physical stuff regarding twitching, so the eyes twitching at different spots and doesn't usually move around. It's usually like one spot for like 1,000 years, it feels like, and then I'll move somewhere else. And then also you have like these muscle spasms. So we're talking about a little bit larger muscle groups, and they're like kind of spasming and kind of causing some discomfort, all the way into Charlie horse kind of stuff. Now we're moving this through with this plasma. The light that's coming down is moving through us, which again is assisted by having a higher water content. So the drinking water will really help in this experience. And as this vibration, this shaking out occurs, it's the density moving out, moving through, this energy moving through and replacing the space that this density is in. And so it's just kind of being asked to go on. So just, you're okay. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but know that it's a fleeting experience. Headaches. Lots and lots of different kinds of headaches, and they're usually very fleeting, though very severe. As I've described before, they feel like migraines often if they were longer lasting, but they're momentary. They tend to have a specific area that they focus on for a period of time, and then it moves on. For a long time, it was behind my eyes, and also the third eye, the temples, the top of the head, as well as other kind. The one that I've been experiencing recently that just kind of moved through and moved on is it was starting here and then it would move through and out there. And I've talked about that a few times. And recently it put back in that spot, the exit space, it produced some type of a boil thing, and it just needed to be removed. And there's other ways that our body's removing this density. Along with purging, again, we're talking about a lot of this purging right now, and I think this is happening on a grand scale, more than I know, I'm sure. But we're also noticing a different kind of sweat on our body, like mostly upper part of the body, honestly, but I'm also noticing it occasionally on my legs. It's not really sweat. It's a residue that our body is weeping out. And so I'm very glad that it's leaving, but remember that these things that our body is pushing through and out, we call it toxins, okay? But a toxin isn't necessarily a poison for everyone or something that isn't in balance and in harmony with their physical form. However, for each one of us, there are things that our body has collected through this experience that no longer serves us. And our body's letting it go. We could have gotten it in the air, in our food, in our drink, whatever. It doesn't really matter, in my opinion, where it comes from. It's that it's going out. And so to assist that experience, baths, oils on the skin, because we are getting rashes again, different types of weird rashes, things on the elbows, a lot of weird, like blemishy. I don't know if you can see. It's really bizarre. Things that I've never had experience before. Palms of the hands and soles of feet, achiness, especially like on the heel, but also in the heel of your hand, just feeling really sore, like as if you've been running around on concrete all day on your feet or on your hands. The palms of the hands and the soles of the feet, just feeling like it's on fire. Running cold water under the sink has been like the best solution to that, and going swimming, things like that. At the same time, we're also going through hot, cold flashes throughout the rest of our body and having this weird experience of like you were overly hot and then all of a sudden just freezing. It's just really kind of bizarre. A tickling on the head, temporarily slurred speech, forgetfulness, so in the middle of a moment and then just completely forgetting what you're saying. That happens to me a lot right now. It's mildly embarrassing, but mostly just annoying. As well as access to vocabulary being limited, more than before. I had historically been very articulate, and I'm finding it difficult to find the correct words. I think some of that also has to do with the fact that the spoken and written language are wrought with barriers. We have so many limitations with our language, the way that we communicate. And, when you're in this astral dream-like experience, it's so much easier to have this exchange. You have a moment, just a moment, and all of a sudden you've had an hour-long conversation that just kind of been downloaded. This telepathy experience is increasing. All of the gifts are increasing. And if you've never had any kind of psychic gifts before, it might be kind of alarming, but please know that you're okay. There's this other, someone described it as a Buddha belly. We're noticing this extra, I don't know if it's air or whatever it is, kind of like coming into the stomach area as our sacral chakra fully comes online and manifestation power is being amplified. That is the womb center for a reason. That's the place of creation. And so when you're noticing this stuff happening, in the way I experience it and my interpretation of it is create. Use those creative energies, not just through manifestation, which is a beautiful thing as well, through any other way that you have available to you to express this creation, the creation energy, such as art, music, sculpting, whatever, like producing something to express that energy and let it come out. Writing as well. Writing has been a very useful thing. I'm finding myself writing quite a bit these days. So just allowing that to flow and to come out. Time slippage is occurring a lot more. And what I mean by time slippage is simply that time is speeding up. And then also sometimes this time is really, really slow. And it's not like, oh my goodness, is this day going to get over? But like, I'm noticing that I'm getting, an hour's worth of something done in 5 or even 10 minutes. And it's like, wow, it's only been that long. It's been kind of interesting. Along with a lot of synchronicities, and I don't always mention this, but this has been something that's been happening for quite some time, and seeing series of numbers, and for me, what I understand that to be is truly like the higher realm saying, good job, we're here, you're not alone. Seeing the light orbs and seeing just any of these things, like the light auras, around a body or a physical form or a being that you don't actually see the being within. They're beautiful, loving experiences that are coming through. And again, you're not suddenly being invaded by all these energies. It's just that you've raised your vibration enough to meet this other vibration so you can now perceive it. We've always kind of sensed the presence of these other loving army of light for us. Each one of us have this army available to us. And now we're starting to really be able to perceive them. bursts of emotion have been like a way of releasing and cleansing out this stuff. And it's often we're noticing it happening through crying, not just crying with sadness, but also crying with joy, with love and compassion. And honestly, that's my favorite, you know, like bursts of euphoria as well. Just all of a sudden, just like, wow. As well as sudden need to like deep clean, you know, almost like the spring cleaning air is kind of happening right now. And it's kind of difficult because the motivation is not there. Kind of feel like we just kind of want to sit, but at the same time, our mind and our soul is kind of like encouraging us to do other things. And that's been kind of difficult. Laughter is another really beautiful way of releasing. If you're unable to create the tears for yourself or allow yourself to cry, a lot of us have limitation there based on conditioning in this lifetime that you're in now. And I know that you will get through that conditioning. However, until you do, try laughter. Through laughter, there's the same beautiful release that occurs in crying. This is not medical advice. This is my personal experience and the reports that are comparable to experiences I've had that I found with people that we meet in these beautiful Zoom meetings every week. We meet three times a week, and you're always invited. It's free. It's never recorded or aired, and you never have to have your audio or your video on. So if you ever want to join, it's on Sundays, Tuesdays, and also on Fridays every week. The times and the links for each meeting are always in my community section in this YouTube channel. And so I encourage you to attend. If you ever have any questions and just want to sit back and listen, that's great. But above all else, please remember that you know what you're doing. Whether you know that you know, you do. You came in here prepared. You came in here as one of the many, many, many volunteers. Out of all those individuals who raised their hand and volunteered, you were picked for a reason. You are the most equipped. You are the most capable. You are the very essence of love. And love is the most powerful thing in this entire cosmos. You got this. You're not alone. Thank you for your service. I love you. I hope you're having a lovely journey. Aho blessings.